Hey guys, this is Nathan here. So I'm from Australia and I've been on the TaLK program now for just over 4 months. Recently I got some questions which I thought I would just answer in a video. The first one was about flight tickets, and that was, I didn't get your name, but silence you 83. Recently the policy for flight tickets has changed in that you organize your own ticket and get reimbursed when you get there, as opposed to having the TaLK office organize it for you. And so you get about $1,300 each way. There was a bit of confusion about when should you buy your tickets. Now, the orientation date for the 9th June starts on the 7th of August. So in terms of your placement, it doesn't matter where you placed, where your flight's going to, because everyone will come into Seoul and have your orientation there, even if you're on Jeju Island. I'm going to say, as long as you've received your acceptance package, so you've been confirmed that you're in and you've received that package, then you can go ahead and buy your flights. You don't need to know where you're going to be placed, and it's very unusual for someone to know this early, so if you're wondering why I haven't been told, that's very normal. You should find out which province you'll be in before you arrive in orientation. So I only found mine out about a week before going to orientation. But if you're sitting now in June and you're arriving in August and you don't know, that's pretty normal, because the current TaLK scholars have the option to renew. If they renew, they stay in their same schools, and they will only find out on the 20th of June if their extension is accepted or not. So there's only so much they can do about placements for new TaLK scholars before the 20th of June. Now, I found out my exact school when I was in transfer on the way to Korea in Malaysia. So don't be too hopeful about finding out exactly where you'll go before orientation. Many scholars arrived at orientation not knowing yet which school they will go to. I'm also going to say that it doesn't matter where you go, because you will have an awesome experience regardless. And if you get sent somewhere that's not where you're requested, chances are you're going to just have a new different adventure to what you had hoped for. So I got asked how good they are at placing you where you request. Now this is a sort of very mixed thing, because I got placed pretty much exactly where I requested. And usually I would say you get within the vicinity of where you requested. Remember, not every town actually has TaLK scholars placed there, so you might have requested a town that doesn't actually have a TaLK scholar, in which case they will often place you in the next nearest town. In terms of if you ask to be placed near your friends, once again that's another one where it may work out, but I know best friends, one was placed in Jeju Island, which is the furthest south that you can get, and one was placed in Gangwon, which is the furthest north you can get. So don't worry about your placement too much. And why? Because everyone's going to be in orientation together, and you will make the best friends that you'll have throughout the rest of the program at orientation. And that is guaranteed for everyone. It just happens. So next question I had was from Brian. You asked me about money, how much you get to buy with your money. Your money is yours. You can buy what you want. You can spend it on clothes, food, concerts. You can drink your money away if that's what you want to do. The only thing that you can't obviously do is spend on illegal substances, but I'm sure that's pretty straightforward. So I also got asked how much you can save with your money. Now, this varies completely from scholar to scholar, obviously. The most I've ever heard anyone save, and as far as I'm concerned, this is just ridiculously crazy savings, is 1,000,000 Korean won a month, which is roughly 950 American dollars. Now the reason why I say it's very hard to save is because you're doing stuff every weekend, and quite often you're doing something every single night. Life here is a little crazy in terms of how much you get to explore Korea and have fun. Like, the adventure never ends pretty much. So many scholars' money runs out every month and they just live from paycheck to paycheck. Some people save up a bit and then at the end of their contract end up going on holiday and spending the rest. But yeah, some people have loans in which they're sending the money back to. So that's often why they manage to save so much, because they have to. And just to give you an idea, you can choose to get lunches at school. In South Korea, all elementary schools, I haven't heard of any exceptions so far, but all elementary schools have a cafeteria and eat at school with the teachers. And if you choose to do that, it's roughly 3,500 Korean won a day on average. That's approximately $3 a meal. which is really good considering it's like a very healthy and quite delicious meal. Lastly was from Nora. You said that you didn't get into the TaLK program. As much as I'm sure that really sucks, something that I've learned while meeting lots of people through the TaLK program is just how many opportunities there are out there. So if you're still interested in teaching, I'm just going to tell you a few others that you can look into. The one is EPIC, which is the sister program of TaLK. So I'm not sure if they gave you any feedback with TaLK about why they didn't give you a spot, if the numbers were limited or not, but that's pretty much like TaLK, but a bit more full-time and more salary. Next one is JET, which is in Japan, so it's JET. So that's a full-time teaching program in Japan, and as far as I know, you have to start applying for that really early before you want to go, which is the only downside. And next, if you do want to stay in Korea, a lot of people come to hagwons or private academies. The disadvantage with those, it's less of like a program where you have sort of orientation and that big TaLK community feel, but you get paid more for doing more hours and you can go into Seoul and stuff. So I think that's quite easy to get into, but it's I guess it's just not like a program, it's just a job. And I'm not sure if you particularly wanted to go to Korea or Asia, but I know that in Argentina and Chile there's a lot of English teaching jobs as well. Again, those ones are not really programs, but kind of like the private academies or schools where you just apply to get your job individually. Now, a lot of the time you need an ESL certificate, which you can do online in less than a month, but most of the time you need a bachelor or at least 2 years of study in any field. Anyways, hope that helps answer some of your questions. See ya!